Gentlemen, welcome to the International Visiting Lecture today with University Malaysia Perlis. Welcome to the Honorable Associate Professor Dr. Hanif Suhairi Abu Bakar as an Associate Professor, Communication Department, Faculty of Business and Communication. And for the topic today is Introduction to Qualitative Research. And for today's session is being live streamed on the University STEKOM YouTube channel. And now I will read our agenda this afternoon. First, we will start class presentation delivered by Dr. Hanif and continue with the Q&A session. In the next session, we have time for documentation unless time is closing. Okay, let's begin. We will start class presentation delivered by Dr. Hanif. The time is yours. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam MC, and hello from Malaysia. My name is Hanif Suhairi Abu Bakar, and I am from University Malaysia Perlis. So Perlis, as an introduction, I would like to tell you a bit about Perlis. So Perlis is the northernmost state in Malaysia, okay, near the border of Thailand. Okay, so maybe some of you have come to Malaysia before. All right, so anyway, I would like to take this opportunity to thank your university for inviting me to give this talk on qualitative research. Okay, so without further ado, I think I have only an hour. All right, so I would like to start my presentation. Okay, so for today's presentation, it is very informal. All right, so we are going to discuss through this topic in relaxed manner. All right, so don't have to worry. All right, so anyway, hopefully some of you have a very basic knowledge on qualitative research. All right, so for today's topic, introduction to qualitative research, understanding the basics, approaches, strength and limitation. All right, this is very basic. Okay, very basic. So I'm going to touch on only on the surface. All right, so because the time will not allow me to go in depth. All right. Okay. Okay, so can you hear the content? Can you see? Can you see the? All right. So we have 9 subtopics, very brief. Right. So we are going to look at one by one. Okay. So first of all, what is qualitative research? Secondly, why use qualitative research? Number 3, 4 key characteristics of qualitative research. Number 4, when to use qualitative research. Number 5, 4 strengths of qualitative research. Number 6, 4 limitations of qualitative research. Number 7, main approaches of qualitative research. Number 8, 5 basic data collection methods of qualitative research. And number 9, 3 basics data analysis of qualitative research. Okay. All right, so using only qualitative research, we can explore human experiences. Okay, so quantitative, we cannot explore because it has limitation by using questionnaire. All right, so only qualitative research, we can explore human experiences and meanings. All right. So it focuses on words, not numbers. Okay, so we will proceed after this more meanings on qualitative research. Okay, so if you can see this cartoon, which one is qualitative, which one is quantitative? All right, so if you can see clearly, the figure on your left, okay, is qualitative, going to measure something, right? So it's clearly quantitative, right? So on your right is qualitative. Okay, so the group of people there wants to share their experience, okay, want to tell their stories. So that's clearly qualitative. Okay. So why use qualitative research? There are three according to Creswell and Poth. So one is to explore complex issues in depth. So you can see once again the word explore. Okay, to explore complex issues. Number two, to understand. Another word representing qualitative. Okay, to understand. And number three, to discover why behind behaviors and action. So all these words, okay, is the words that represent qualitative, because you cannot explore, you cannot understand, you cannot discover using quantitative research. Okay. So this is the one example, okay, on qualitative research. So imagine a school counselor notices that some students have avoided using their phones during breaks. Okay, so nowadays everybody are using handphones anytime, everywhere. So if at some moment the counselor can see that a group of students, they don't want to use their handphones. Why? So the counselor needs to ask the students, okay, why they don't want to use their handphones, because it's quite strange, okay, it's quite peculiar, because nowadays everybody does not stop using handphones. So by using open-ended 5W and 1H, I think you have already you know already what is 5W and 1H. Okay, so 5W and 1H is the open-ended questions. Number one is what, when, who, why, and where. And 1H is how. So these are the example of the questions with open-ended. Okay, so by using quantitative research, okay, using questionnaire, it is what we call close-ended. Okay, close-ended question. So you can answer by using yes or no without any explanation. Okay, so for qualitative research, you need to have open-ended in order to explore, understand, and discover any situation. Okay, so that's why we use qualitative research. Okay, so next we have 4 key characteristics of qualitative research. Maybe this is according to one author. Maybe some author have more, maybe another author have less than 4 key characteristics. Okay, so number 1, it happens in natural settings. What is natural settings? So, for example, you want to see or you want to observe, you want to do some research on a family, okay, family that have lunch or do dinner together. So nowadays, families on their during lunch or dinner, okay, so they are using handphone. Okay, so they are busy with their handphones without any communication among themselves. So you want to see this whether it is true or not. So you go to any restaurant, it is what we call natural settings, and you observe any families that come there to have lunch or dinner. So you observe in their natural settings without compromising the research by what we call you just observe, okay, from far. Okay, all right. So that's number 1. Happen in natural settings. Number 2, the researcher themselves is the instrument. Okay, so if you use quantitative research, the instrument is the questionnaire. All right, so in qualitative research, the researcher themselves is the key instrument because they will observe, they will ask questions, right? Number 3, qualitative research uses descriptive data, okay, not in numbers or charts. Okay, so descriptive data such as words, okay, from informants, okay, what the informants have said during interviews, photos, environment, the natural settings, videos, and etc. Okay, so that's what we call descriptive data. Okay, so it will not involve numbers or charts. Okay, and number 4, qualitative research uses inductive analysis, meaning that in the end, you will produce theory or you will produce a hypothesis. Okay, so for quantitative, you will use deductive analysis. Okay, so quantitative, deductive, qualitative, inductive. So qualitative, at the end of your research, you will come up with hypothesis, but for quantitative, deductive, you will use hypothesis at the beginning of your research. Okay, so you will use theory at the beginning of your research. Okay, so that's the main difference, okay, between inductive and deductive analysis. Okay, all right. So next, when to use qualitative research. So when will you use qualitative research? When the topic is new or not well understood. Okay, that's when you will use qualitative research. So nowadays, I think artificial intelligence is quite new for us students and lecturers, right? So it is at the very beginning. Okay, so this is new phenomena. So you want to know more about artificial intelligence in academic. All right, so not many people has done research on AI. So it is a perfect phenomenon to use qualitative research to study or to explore the phenomena. Okay, so new or not well understood. All right, so number 2, when you want in depth, okay, because quantitative, by using questionnaire, you cannot go in depth. Okay, it has limitation. Okay, so when using qualitative, you can probe further. Okay, so qualitative research is the best to probe in depth on or regarding the phenomenon you want to study. Okay, for instance, I put the example here. In a hospital, a survey shows that 30% of patients are unhappy with their care in that particular hospital. So you want to know why? You cannot use quantitative. Okay, it will not bring or it will not produce in-depth findings. Okay, so by using qualitative, the researcher hold focus groups of patients to hear their stories. Okay, so to know in depth. All right. Okay, and number 3. Oh, sorry, only 2. Yeah. Okay. So next we have 4 strengths of qualitative research. Number 1, produce rich, detailed insights. All right. So rich, detailed insight. For example, a researcher interviews 5 cancer survivors and collect powerful in-depth stories about their journey. Okay, so with qualitative research, these informants, okay, these survivors, cancer survivors, can tell their in-depth stories, okay, about their journey fighting cancer. Okay, so you cannot use quantitative research. You cannot give these informants questionnaires in order for you to know their stories. Okay, you need to ask them. Okay, you need to ask them. You need to probe further. Okay, so to produce rich, detailed insights. So that strength. Number 1. Number 2, it is very flexible and adaptable. You can always alter the course of your research, okay? Because you are the informant. You always can alter, you always can change the course of your research. The interview questions, you can alter the interview questions during your research. Okay, so you can adapt, not by using quantitative. All right, quantitative, if you distribute your questionnaire, so that's it. Okay, you cannot simply alter your questionnaire after you distribute them. Okay, so by using qualitative research, very, very flexible and adaptable to the situation. Okay. All right. Number 3, amplifies participants' voices. Okay, by using verbatim or quotes from the informants. You can use them to support your findings, right? So direct quotes or verbatim of or from informants. Okay, so participant voices are very, very strong to support your findings. That's why we will use verbatim in our report in order to support our findings. Okay, and number 4, works with small sample size only. Okay, if we compare to quantitative research, we have so many respondents to attend to. Okay, in order for us to generalize the population. But for qualitative research, we will have only a small sample sizes because we don't want to generalize the population. Okay, so it's not important to generalize the population in qualitative research. Okay, only small sample sizes will do, right? So that's for strength. Of course, maybe another author will have more strength, or another author have less than 4 strength. Okay, it depends on the authors. Okay, so of course, qualitative research have also limitation. All right, so what are the limitation of qualitative research? Okay, Merriam and Tisdale listed 4 limitations for qualitative research. Okay, unfortunately, qualitative research will take a lot of time. Okay, so for example, 1 hour of interview, the researcher need 4 hours in order to transcribe the interview. Okay, so can you imagine if you have 10 or 20 or 30 informants or interviews to be transcribed? So it will take a lot of a researcher's time. Okay, so that's limitation number 1. Limitation number 2, hard to generalize findings. Okay, so for example, a study on work stress includes only 6 nurses from 1 hospital. Okay, their stories are valuable, but findings may not apply to all nurses in other settings, because in order to generalize the findings, you need to know the population of the nurses. Okay, you need to know the population of the nurses. So for example, 1 hospital, they have 1,000 nurses. Okay, so 6 will not generalize the population. So you need more than 6 according to Craigie and Morgan table. Okay, so you need to have more nurses in order to generalize the findings. Okay, so it is very hard. That's why qualitative research, we will not stress for generalizing findings. Okay, all right. Number 3, analysis can be subjective. For instance, you have 2 researchers in one particular research. Okay, so you have, for example, 10 informants. Okay, 5 to one researcher, another 5 to another researcher. So, same interview questions, but interpretation might be different. Okay, so because of 2 researchers that might interpreted the interview differently. Okay, so it is very, very subjective. So that's limitation number 3. And limitation number 4, bias. Okay, so for instance, you are not, or you are against AI. Okay, you are against, you as a lecturer. Okay, for this is an example. Okay, so you as a researcher or a lecturer, okay, you are against artificial intelligence, okay, in academic. So if you do a research on AI, you will tend to have negative view on AI, and you will focus more on negative comments beside, or rather than positive. Okay, so bias will come if you cannot contain yourself, okay, in qualitative research. Okay, so it is very, very difficult for a researcher to manage themselves. Okay, all right. So that's 4 limitations on qualitative research. Okay, next we are going to look at approaches. Very, very brief. Okay, very, very brief. So, Creswell has listed 6 approaches of qualitative research. There are more actually. Action research or discourse analysis can be considered as qualitative research as well, but we are going to look at 6. Okay. Okay, there is questions maybe after this Q&A. All right, so we'll proceed with the lecture first. Okay, so we will look at phenomenology that focus on life experience, ethnography, culture groups, grounded theory or GT, built theory from data, case study, focus on one case, okay, deep focus on one case, narrative, people life stories, content analysis, interpreting textual data. Okay, so 6 main approaches. So we will look at briefly at one by one. Okay, so if you want to look at personal topics or involve emotional, okay, so you can use phenomenology approach. Okay, so it is very, very effective. So for example, okay, I put influencer, social media influencers. Okay, maybe some of you are social media influencers. So a researcher wants to understand how young social media influencers experience online fame. Okay, so I don't know the famous social media influencer in Indonesia, but for I think from US, I think Mr. Beast. Have you heard Mr. Beast? Or I think Speed, right? Okay, I think you know both of them. Very, very famous influencer from US. Okay, so you will conduct in-depth interviews with these influencers about how it affects their mental health, self-image, and personal relationships. Because I learned that to an influencer is not easy easy occupation. Actually, it is very, very difficult to manage. Okay, so by using phenomenology approach, you can probe or you can study this influencer in depth. Okay, so that's phenomenology, great for emotional or personal topics. Okay, use phenomenology approach to study emotional or personal topics of people. Okay, all right. Next, we have ethnography approach. Okay, ethnography study. So it involved long-term observation of a group in their natural setting. Okay, you want to study about a group of people. Okay, so for instance, you want to look at culture of a lifestyle of influencers on Instagram. Okay, so the researcher will spend several months following and observing a group of influencers without them knowing they're being observed. You cannot, as a researcher, you cannot tell people that you will observe them in ethnographic study. Okay, because it will definitely bring a bias findings. Okay, so you silently, secretly will observe these influencers online. Okay, in Instagram. So you will look, or the researcher will take detailed field notes on how they do their content, the unspoken rules. This is for example, yeah, and how they support or compete with one another. Okay, all right. So that's one example. So if for your information, if ethnographic study involve online situation or online setting, we will call it as cyber ethnographic study. Okay, so ethnography and cyber ethnography study. Okay, so traditional ethnography study, you will observe a group of people in their natural setting, not online. Okay, it will not involve online. For example, you want to know about a lifestyle of a group of people. Okay, so you will enter the group without them knowing that you are a researcher. Okay, so that's how you will observe their lifestyle. Okay, that's ethnography study. Okay, okay, next we have grounded theory or GT. Okay, this is the most difficult. I think most of qualitative researcher, they will tell that this is grounded theory is the most difficult research to perform. Okay, so what is grounded theory? When will you use grounded theory? If you want to produce a theory, okay, if you want to come out with a theory, or a paradigm model. Okay, so you will use grounded theory. Okay, so we have 3 different types of grounded theory. We have Glacierian, we have Straussian, and we have constructivist grounded theory. So what is the main difference between these 3 grounded theory? So Glacierian and constructivist grounded theory will not permit literature at the very beginning of your research. Okay, so I think you know that most research will have literature review at the very beginning of their proposal or thesis. Okay, frequently or usually in chapter 2. Okay, literature review. Glacierian and constructivist grounded theory will not permit literature review at the beginning of the research. Because why? Because they want to have a real grounded. Okay, the data is grounded, not involving any other literature or any other theory or any other ideas at the very beginning of the research, because they will not they don't want these literatures or theory or ideas to influence the findings. Okay, past literature or any ideas cannot be at the beginning of the research, because they don't want to have these things to influence the findings. They want the findings come from the data itself, okay, the grounded data itself. But Straussian permits literature review at the very beginning. So that's the main difference, okay, between Glacierian, Straussian, and constructivist. Okay, so anyway, grounded theory is the best method or approach in order for you to come out with a theory or paradigm model. So this is an example of the paradigm model that come from research. Okay, actually this is my research on cyberbullying, okay, using Straussian grounded theory. Okay, so as you can see, this is the model. So it will contain all aspects of cyberbullying phenomenon, right from the very beginning to the end. Okay, so this is one example of paradigm model or theory, or what some say working hypothesis. Okay, all right. Next, we have case study. Okay, when will you use case study? If you want to look at any single case or a few cases in their natural setting. Okay, for example, you want to study one innovative classrooms teaching methods using AI technology. So you found that that particular school is so famous in using AI in their teaching and learning. Okay, so it is that school has become the talk of the society because of its usage of AI. So you want to know how. Okay, so you use case study approach to study what they do in that school. Okay, so case study approach is very, very effective in order to know what they have done in that particular setting. All right, so that's a case study. All right, so you can study a single person or program, any group or activity situated in a specific context. Okay, so that's case study. Okay, next we have narrative research. All right, so you have one figure. Okay, so this is very, very interesting figure that you want to know about. Okay, you want to maybe historic figure, okay, or any politician you want to interview. So this figure is very, very interesting, and you want to do some research. So you will do, or you will use a narrative research approach. So this narrative research will explore people's life stories and experiences. Okay, so stories of, for example, stories of successful social media influencers in Indonesia. So you will gather one or more than one social media influencers that are very, very famous, and you do narrative research on them. Okay, all right. Then content analysis. If you want to study any content, okay, so for example, you want to study how fitness influencers promote health messages on Instagram. Okay, so you need to go through the contents, okay, the contents of the influencers in that particular Instagram. So you want to build themes, okay, you analyze the text in order to identify themes. Okay, so you will do content analysis. Or you want to do a content analysis on a book, for example, okay, a religious book. Okay, so you will use content analysis approach. Okay, so this is, you cannot use other than content analysis in order to study a book, right? So this is one particular approach that is effective to study that kind of thing, right? Okay, so that's the 6 major approaches of qualitative research. Next, we have 5 basic data collection methods of qualitative research. Okay, this is basic, yeah, 5 basic. So we have interviews, we have focus groups, we have observation, and of course, we have documents. You can do one, or you can have more than one methods in your research. You can have interviews and focus group, and of course observation, 3 together in one research, or 4. All right, so it's up to you in order to further strengthen your research. Okay, 5 basic data collection methods. Okay, next we have 3 basics data analysis of qualitative research. Okay, this is very basic. Actually, in qualitative research, we have more than 3. Okay, but these are the very, very basic. Okay, one is transcribe. Okay, from your interviews, you have to transcribe into audio, transcribe the audio or notes. Okay, so in order for you to analyze the data, then after that, coding the data. Okay, and of course, you will find the themes and patterns. Okay, so in order for you to do the data analysis, we have what we call computer assisted qualitative data analysis software, or CADDAS. So there are a lot of CADDAS software. Yeah? So NVivo, Atlas TI, Maxstar, and Transcena is very, very popular. And I use NVivo in order to analyze my qualitative research. All right. Okay. Next is the example of the theme and sub-theme. Okay. That I've produced using NVivo software. Okay, so these are the themes and sub-theme. Okay, so of cyberbullying phenomenon, my PhD research. Okay, okay, so this is the example of the theme and sub-theme. Okay, so finally. So qualitative research help us understand the human side of issues. So understand the human side. Yeah. So using other than qualitative, you cannot use quantitative research to understand. Okay, to explore and etc. Okay, and it's flexible. Okay, qualitative research is very, very flexible. That's why you don't have to strictly follow the conceptual framework in your proposal. Okay, so your conceptual framework is there merely to as a guidance. Okay, so you need not to stick to that conceptual framework because it is very, very flexible. You can always alter the course of your research. Okay, of course, deep and meaningful. And of course, for qualitative research, you need to keep asking questions and stay curious. Okay. All right. I think that's it. Okay. Thank you very much. So I will look at the questions. Okay. From Abdul. Hi, Abdul. Okay. So Abdul asks, in what situation is qualitative research more valuable than quantitative research? And how do we justify that choice methodologically? Okay, so I've covered from my earlier slides. So actually, it is very simple actually. So let's get back to the okay. So I think this one. Okay. So Abdul. So qualitative research. One, I repeat. Yeah, I repeat. So the topic is very new or not well understood, and you need to have in-depth studies on that particular topic. Okay, so quantitative research cannot do that. Okay, so of course you want to go in depth. All right, so the qualitative research is valuable if you want to probe further. You cannot probe by using questionnaire. Okay, Abdul? All right, I think hopefully that will answer your question. Okay, so from Paulina, how do our personal biases as researchers shape the way we collect and interpret qualitative data? Okay, so bias, yeah, one of the qualitative limitation. So we as a researcher, okay, we tend to have bias. Okay, for instance, you want to do research on political aspect. Okay, political aspect. So you as a researcher, of course, you have your own political views. Okay, so you have all your political views, and of course, maybe you will not into another political views. Okay, so if you have those bias, okay, if you have those biases, so you will tend to you will want to have good things on that particular political views, and bad things on another political views, and of course it will shape the findings. Okay, because we have what we call you tend to I can't remember the exact word. All the questions, okay, the questions you ask, it will be biased in order for you to have what you want. Okay, you want to listen what the respondent answer. Okay, I remember it is called leading question. If you have biases in you, okay, during your research, you will have what we call leading questions in order for you to have what you want to hear. Okay, Paulina, all right. So it definitely will shape the findings of your research. The leading questions is very, very dangerous in qualitative research. Okay, so that's why you need to learn how to delete those biases from you. Okay, I hope it will answer your question, yeah, Paulina. And finally, we have Keenan. How do we critically evaluate the validity of qualitative findings? Okay, very, very good questions. So we have some experts or some authors put four, okay, types of validity and reliability in research, qualitative research, and some put 8. Okay, one most important thing you want to do is to have what we call triangulation approach. Okay, triangulation approach. What is triangulation? Can somebody tell me what is triangulation? One of the many approaches to reliability and validity of qualitative research. So triangulation is very, very important. So anybody knows what is triangulation? Anybody? Okay. So triangulation is more than one approaches. Okay, more than one approaches. So for example, you want to collect data, you will do interviews, Okay, that's one approach. You will do observation, another approach, and you will do what? Content analysis, for example. So you have three approaches in collecting data. So that's what we call triangulation. Okay, more than one approaches. Okay, or you have one more approach to support your research, qualitative research. You have a small questionnaire or quantitative approach in your qualitative research. So what we call a mixed method. Okay, of course you focus on qualitative, but you have a portion, a small portion of quantitative. So that will have your research will have more validity and reliability, because that one small portion of quantitative will compensate what qualitative research, the limitation of qualitative research. All right. Okay. So hopefully that we have more than we have another, for example, audit trail. Okay, audit trail. What else? Triangulation, audit trail, expert validation, peer reviews. Okay, so we have 8, I think. Okay, we have 8 things, criteria in order for you to have your qualitative research valid and reliable. Okay, Keenan. Okay, hopefully that will answer your questions. So any more questions? So what's the time now? Exactly 4 o'clock. 1 minute to 4. My God. All right. So I think that's it from me.
Okay, thank you. I guess no one else asking again, sure? Yeah. Okay, before I close this event, for all participants, please open your camera. I will take a picture on the count of 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, another one, 1, 2, 3. Thank you for your cooperation. Finally, we come to the end of visiting lecture today. We would like to thank you for Dr. Hanif for the wonderful information and sharing your knowledge. We hope this information will be beneficial for all participants. At least we hope to have more collaboration in the future with University Malaysia Perlis. The visiting lecture for today and here. We hope to see you soon. Thank you.